you mentioned about Joburg and the people dressing up, and you find the fashion there interesting. But in the South Africa as a whole, what do you think distinguishes South African fashion from stuff you see elsewhere?
Wow, that's an interesting question. In other countries, it's very minimalist. So in other words, like black and white creams, like solid colors. And in South Africa, we're very brave when we're mixing prints and colors, and it's very bright, which I love. So, and then it depends also on regions. Like in Joburg, you'd see someone go to work in like a printed pant, whereas in Cape Town, that would never really happen. It's probably like a weekend look. So I think the most exciting thing about our fashion is probably the prints and the way we mix prints together and colors, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We're not afraid to make a statement.
Yeah, we really aren't.
That's awesome. All right, so you have been nominated as one of Africa's favorite bloggers. Give me a short overview of how that happened. How did it become that you're a blogger?
So I started blogging in 2009. I was studying business at UCT and at the University of Cape Town. And I was really bored. I wanted to study fashion and I kind of chose the wrong thing, but I didn't want to quit. So I started this fashion blog where I kind of talk about what I'm seeing like internationally and on runways and that kind of stuff. And then people started saying, well, share your own fashion. I was like, okay, cool. So I started sharing what I wear to campus and that kind of stuff. And then, it really took off. It kind of went viral. I never advertised it or anything. People at my university read it and then spread it to other campuses. Cool. And so I've been doing it for quite a while. And then in the last 3 years, I've monetized it. So it's now my full-time job. Yes. And I make money off advertising, similar to magazines or news or TV. And it's really, it's a fun job. I love doing it, but it's super hard work. And yeah, I just got nominated for an award for the blog. And I'm not a one-man show. I have a photographer that I work with, so it's really just our award, not really mine.
Yeah.
And we go to LA soon, which is really exciting.
Yay, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
have you ever been there?
No, I've been to America once when I was a kid. I went to Disney World. So I'm very excited to go back and like experience Hollywood and Beverly Hills and all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Would you say the name of your photographer?
My photographer is Tegan Smith.
Tegan Smith.
Yes,
cool.
We've been working together since I think 2011. And we're kind of just a team, so
yeah.
But it's quite cool because I'm in front of the camera and she's behind the camera. So my followers know her very well because we always talk about her on the blog.
Yeah.
But you never really see her.
She's like this third presence.
Yeah. So it's very cool, and I always kind of give her a shout out on the blog because we create everything together.
Perfect. So being nominated for the Nickelodeon Award, where you're one of the favorite African bloggers, what does it mean to you? What do you think it represents?
It was such a huge moment. I actually thought it was a spam. We got an email and I thought it was spam. I was like, this is so stupid, like someone's trying to trick me. And then actually, it was real and they responded, and I didn't know we were going until last week. They told us, you're actually going to the awards, you're going to sit there and like watch whoever wins it, we will watch them. So that was really cool, and I think for blogging in South Africa and Africa, it's such a huge moment because it just shows people that this is a real career and it can be sustainable. Yes. So it's very important for us, and people are really starting to notice us now, especially brands, because at the end of the day, as a creative, you need to eat, you need to feed yourself.
Of course.
So it's important to also make money from what you do, and we need that support from brands in South Africa and in Africa as a whole. So now brands are noticing that we have a voice and we have something to say, and the information is more organic than maybe a fashion magazine. Yes. So it's really cool. So it means growth for us.
Cool. And for the African continent as a whole, do you feel like you are taking part in putting Africa kind of on the world map as a fashion destination, as a travel destination? Do you feel that you are part of that?
I don't actually feel like I'm part of that. I think there's so much more work to be done, but I think it is making us get noticed that there are bloggers out here as well. And when fashion weeks happen, bloggers from all around the world get invited, but we kind of don't. We just like left us on the side looking at the shows, and they usually invite like TV presenters or radio personalities because they assume that in Africa people just watch TV and listen to the radio. So it's kind of nice that they know, in the world, in the Northern Hemisphere, that hey, in Africa we've got internet and we read blogs and we create content and we have a fashion community. So it's kind of nice, but there's a lot of work to be done. I think we need more things like this.
Yeah, true. All right. Where do you see your blog, Bake the Blog, going forward? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, so in the next 5 years, we're working on a TV series at the moment, which is quite funny because most TV shows turn into blogs in the States, and in South Africa it's like the other way around because TV's big here. So we're kind of flipping the switch and we're going to be online and on TV at the same time. So that's very exciting and lots of hard work. And then we're working on a shoe collaboration with a brand as well, and hopefully fashion, like that was always my thing. So I want to start a clothing line, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yes.
So hopefully in the next 5 years I'll get that up and running.
Perfect. All the best.
Thanks.
All right, and 2 more questions. What advice can you give aspiring South African bloggers who want to get on the map like you?
So when I first started, I think the most important thing in that phase for me was being really authentic and organic. So my message was so authentic that people related to it, and that's why they read it, because it wasn't really for any purpose. There wasn't a greater goal. It was just, right there. And then moving on from that, monetizing the blog, it's important to have continuous, consistent content. So if you're going to post, like now I only post once a week, which is it's so amazing to just have to post once a week because that's a big deal. But before I used to post every single day. So that builds the audience. And now I took 2 posts away, so they were like looking forward to 3. And then now they look forward to 1, so they look forward to that beginning of the week post. So building up a system like that is also very important. And then developing a good relationship with a photographer, I think, is important, because if you can't capture your own content, but you know what you want to see on your site, getting someone who understands your vision and that you can kind of work with. I like to think of it as a symbiotic relationship, because you build up the photographer online and they get gigs, from their work, and then you build up your own portfolio as well. So I would say good relationships, consistent content, and then very authentic message.
Cool. And what are the pitfalls you think existing bloggers step into?
I think the pitfalls is that there's a huge urgency. Getting things like management and publicists too early can really ruin you, because they can overexpose you to people, and everyone's like, oh, this is annoying. So you want to kind of be organic as long as possible. I still don't have a publicist or manager, so I'm like trying to keep it, just between me and Tegan. And then also copying each other's content. It's such a, readers are very smart and they know when you're copying, so they'll instantly get put off, and you don't want to do that.